Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, second hour kicking off right now on this fabulous Tuesday morning of May 19th. Thanks for hanging out with us and making us a part of your starts. If you're already up and at it, you should be. We got C-Bomb chiming in saying, I wish I could say it grinds my gears that Cubs and White Sox fans start yelling Green Bay sucks, but it doesn't. Living rent-free in those poor Bears fans' heads is actually quite enjoyable. I'm not saying I like watching Cubs fans cry. I'm just saying it makes me chuckle a little. I do appreciate, I do enjoy what the Brewers Twitter account, X account, I think it was just Twitter. I don't know if they did it on Facebook, but I saw it on Twitter. After the win last night, the Brewers tweeting, "This win is dedicated to the beautiful city of Green Bay." Well played. Well played. I like a little chit-chat back and forth with a little rivalry. That was pretty sweet. That was pretty savage by the Brewers Twitter account. Dedicated to the beautiful city of Green Bay. Nice. Good pull. Good work. Good work. I like it. I'm with you, C-Bomb. I can't really say it grinds my gears because it literally is rent-free. Right there, rent-free. And the old knocking. What is grinding your gears? You know what grinds my gears? What grinds my gears is when, people say, it's May. All right, it's May. It's baseball season's May. There's a lot of season left to go. Just don't get so high. Don't get so low. Stop it. It's May. There's a lot of season left to go. We got 3/4 of this thing left to go here. There's nothing wrong with being excited, being pumped up, being enthusiastic about your team if they're playing well. There's 162 of these things good in a season. There's going to be low points. There's going to be high points. And for all the naysayers out there saying, it's May, don't get stop. Just want it to be neutral and not be excited when your team wins. I'm not going to be Randy Quaid in Major League 2, just, sitting there and being potty mouth and being a poo-poo the whole time and coming up, they'll blow it in the playoffs. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Who knows? But I'm going to cheer for my team. I'm going to root for my team. I'm going to be down when my team stinks. Probably a little sky is falling here. That's what we do as fans. We live vicariously through our teams. Some maybe do it a little bit extreme and probably should take a step back and take a deep breath. But I'm gonna root for my team, and I'm gonna be happy for my team when they're doing well. And right now, you know what? The Brewers, they're playing well. Let's give them credit to where credit's due. The Brewers are playing well. And there's going to be times this season where they're going to go through rough patches, losing streaks, and we're going to be like, what are they doing? This guy is just playing awful, bench him. So we're going to do that. It's going to happen. And that's why when they do play well, or they are playing well, hey, I'm gonna praise it, and I'm going to be happy. I'm going to not try to take it for granted either. Nick coming in with the text, huge win for the Brewers last night. Huge win. We're going to talk lots more Brewers here this morning. We got the Miz kid coming up tonight. Excited to see what he has in store for the Brew Crew. So, what else is grinding your gears? Send those on over. Your sports confessions, your I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. All right, you can send those on over as well. Coming up next hour, I'm excited to catch up with RJ Cardinal because last Tuesday after we chatted with him, of course, the news about Badgers putting together a search committee or putting together a committee to find and interview and all that for the new athletic director for Wisconsin. We kind of have a timeline now because in that release from last Tuesday, it said wanting it in place by the summer, which, I mean, we're approaching the end of May here. So, obviously, it's going to be a quick turnaround, quickish turnaround. Now that's been a week. What is the rumblings? What is the latest rumors, or what's he hearing down in Madison? So we'll talk with RJ Cardinal coming up at about 8:20 here this morning. So what else we got? The Packers signing another undrafted rookie free agents. Packers signing Vanderbilt's Marlon Jones. Marlon Jones. Now, Marlon Jones, he is, I don't know if he is going to be on the roster when training camp and preseason kind of opens up. I don't know if he's going to be there, but right now he is an instant player to kind of root for. Because Marlon Jones is somebody who defeated stage 3 cancer. He began his college career in 2019 with Eastern Washington, played 4 seasons there. He then went to Vanderbilt, but he missed his first season with Vanderbilt because he was diagnosed with stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma on the day before his scheduled move to Nashville. He returns to the field in 2025. And when you look at some of his advanced analytics, okay, if you look at the RAS numbers, he scored an 8.26. Athletic testing, all right, relative athletic scores, RAS, just to kind of give you a refresh from the draft prospects and such. That would have placed him 537th out of 3,075 corners from 1987 to 2026. So not of all the corners right now. Go back to 1987. Again, I don't know if this is going to be a player that is going to be on the roster by the time we open up preseason and training camp because there could still be a lot of movement. But if he is on the roster and he does play in the preseason, instant guy to root for with that story. Battling cancer, defeating stage 3 cancer, and having a chance to live out his dream. What a story. What an absolute story. Awesome story. Absolute awesome story. And I'm rooting for him now. I mean, I'm rooting for a lot of people. I just want what's best for the Packers and such, but definitely rooting for this kid. And he's a former track star, too. What's his 40-yard dash? Okay, so his 40-yard dash was a 4.50. 10-yard split is where it really kind of jumps up there, where he graded an 8.76, 1.53. His vertical, 39, which was 9.17. So his composite explosion grade is great. Broad jump. Okay, that's where his breakdowns, where his testings were very good. So, but we'll see how it all plays out. All right, let's take a quick break. Continue to send me your thoughts, whether it's on the Brew Crew, maybe a little hoops from last night. Victor Wembanyama, dominant in San Antonio's Game 1 victory last night, Stanley Cup playoffs. Montreal moving on, defeating Buffalo last night in Game 7. Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final, or Stanley Cup playoffs. Man, and it goes to overtime. It's like the best of all worlds to watch that. So, or whatever else is on your mind. All right, send them on over. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more after these few words. Sunshine, road trips, summer adventures, they are a-calling. Is your vehicle ready, though? That's the question. At AGM Automotive in Eau Claire, they'll make sure that you hit the road with confidence. From AC checks and oil changes to brakes and full inspections, AJM Automotive has you covered before the heat kicks in. With 2 convenient Eau Claire locations, expert service is always just around the corner. Don't let car trouble slow down your summer plans. Schedule your appointment today by visiting ajmautomotiveservices.com. AJM Automotive, keeping you cool, safe, and road trip ready all summer long. C-Bomb on the Section 105 chat saying this Marlon Jones story is great. Same cancer my son beat and James Conner beat. My son's was stage 3 as well, so I know what Jones went through pulling hard for him. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So let's oh, sorry, I got sidetracked there too. So got a couple more texts going back to the Brewers. Rick a little bit earlier saying regarding the Jacob Misiorowski best, hardest throwing pitcher of all time. It's hard to say all time when data doesn't go all the way back like it is now, but it is unbelievable to see how hard this kid throws. I just hope that he doesn't suffer any major injuries to that elbow or shoulder. That will always be a concern with guys who throw as hard as he does. We got another texter chiming in about Jacob Misiorowski. Jacob Misiorowski is elite, superstar, ace, whatever you want to call him. The guy has shown up in big moments, which you want to see from your superstar type of players. Excited to see what he can do tonight against this Chicago Cubs lineup that probably wants to bounce back after last night. And then we have Tim coming in here. Baseball is so much fun to watch right now within this NL Central division. For people who don't get caught up on the highs and the lows, for people who don't get caught up in the highs or the lows, they're missing out on some really good baseball right now. Take it all in because, like you said, there's going to be some slow moments. But right now, the Crew is playing some really good baseball in a really tough division. Embrace it, enjoy it, love it. So, okay. Yeah, keep those texts coming. 715-830-1912. We got hoops-wise last night, Victor Wembanyama. We talk about players and creating legacies and jumping out to, kind of taking that next step in the postseason and such. Maybe Victor Wembanyama is doing that this year. Remember that was kind of the talk with Anthony Edwards a couple of years ago? Maybe that's the case for Victor Wembanyama. As a texter had chimed in, is Victor Wembanyama a top 5 player in the league right now? All right, I'll throw it out to the rest of you guys and gals. Do you think Victor Wembanyama is a top 5 player right now? I'll throw it out to the rest. Top 10? Okay, top 5. I don't know if I can put him there yet. I did want to pass this along, too, in case you didn't hear just a little bit more of a local reference. Eau Claire North. All right, Eau Claire North. They have a new boys basketball coach, and they actually go from the college ranks. So Michael Cooper, who has been an assistant coach / director of player development with UW Milwaukee for the last couple of years. He has been a part of the UW Milwaukee program since 2022, but he is now the new head boys basketball coach at Eau Claire North. So just wanted to pass that along. I know we got a couple of local crosstown baseball matchup going up against North and Memorial today too at Carson Park. So if you're looking to catch some local baseball action, you got that going on here for tonight as well. So Stanley Cup playoffs, Game 7 last night, as we mentioned. Montreal picking up the win. So we know what the final or the conference finals now look like in the Stanley Cup. We have Avalanche taking on the Golden Knights. We knew that matchup ahead of time. But now it's the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Hurricanes. If the Sabres would have moved on, it would have been all top seeds, all 1 seeds moving on. But the Canadiens moving on as the 3 seed. They upset the Lightning in the first round and then upsetting the Sabres. So But Hurricanes are a tough team. We'll see if Montreal can get past them. So we're into the conference finals now, officially full on for the Stanley Cup. And for the NBA, that started yesterday with the Spurs picking up that win. So a couple more Brewers messages I forgot to get to a little bit earlier from all of you texters. A little bit earlier, Mike had texted in. That Brewers game last night was so fun to watch. I think Jackson Chourio, even though his sample size has been small, he has had a really good start to begin the season. Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers from Jackson Chourio. You know, he just picked up his first home run of the season this weekend against the Twinnies. But, you know, you kind of look at, he's had 54 at-bats so far this season, and he's hitting .315. On base is a .351, and his OPS is an .814. Clutch bat last night, working the count. Big single to score some runs. So, yeah, I mean, you look at it, numbers-wise, he's off to a good start. A couple more texts a little bit earlier on when we were talking about Jake Bauers. We had a texter say, yes, I would definitely play Jake Bauers in left field, even if it means sacrificing some defense. You have to keep that bat in the lineup right now. And Dave had said, yes, keep Jake Bauers in the lineup. He's not going to continue to hit like this throughout the rest of the season. It would be awesome, but odds are it's not. But you have to strike while the iron is hot. Sacrifice the defense for more offense. And honestly, that's kind of where I'm at too. And I know a lot of it's going to depend on, you know, whether it's a lefty-righty pitching matchup, whether Bauers maybe plays at first or you keep him in the lineup at left field. And Vaughn, I mean, the top six hitters, if we look at the lineup from yesterday, and I know Pat Murphy has like thrown out a different lineup in every single game so far this season. But you look at the top six hitters and their numbers so far this season. Again, the top six hitters in order from last night's lineup. It's a solid group, and I kind of like how it's played up here. Chourio at leadoff, Turang at 2, Contreras at 3, Yelly at 4, Vaughn at 5, Bauers at 6. Your top six. Chourio, who's got an .814 OPS, hitting .315. Turang was the only hitless player last night. I don't think anybody's too concerned about him. .280, .874 OPS. Contreras, who collected a couple more hits last night, .287, .74 or .745 OPS. Yelly, .297, .873 OPS. He collected a couple hits, including that home run off the scoreboard. Vaughn, similar path to Jackson Chourio to begin the season. He's hitting .314 with a .928 OPS so far. And then Bauers, .288 with an .872 and a team-high 7 home runs. Yeah, I think Bauers has played his way into more opportunities, into more ABs. You know, we talk about Bryce Turang. You go to like Brewers.com, and Bryce Turang is up there in a lot of categories. It's kind of changed here in the last 24, 48 hours with Bauers' picture up there now. Bauers, team lead in home runs, team lead in batting average, team lead in RBIs. He's actually tied now with Contreras and Bryce Turang in RBIs. And he's got the third most hits. So Bauers is second on OPS behind Turang, top in home runs. He is second in runs scored behind Turang. Tops in batting average, 3-way tie for RBIs, third in hits. And let me just, for comparison's sakes here, let me just kind of bring this up. Just comparing Bauers and Turang and Contreras here. So, Bryce Turang, this season, 157 ABs. Contreras, 171 ABs. Jake Bauers, 139. So when you look at it from that kind of perspective, Bauers has had fewer ABs than Contreras and Turang, yet he's right up there with them or above them in a lot of the statistical categories for the Brewers so far this year. They've got to find ways to keep that guy in the lineup. They've got to keep that guy in the lineup right now. Strike while the iron is hot, as a few of you have said. Put him in left field. Put Cheerio in center. Frelick in right. And let it roll. Especially if Garrett Mitchell's had some good moments in that, but he struggled here as of late. I'd find ways to keep Bowers in there as much as possible. All right, we got to take a quick break. Plenty more to get to. We'll be right back after these quick words. Summer is right around the corner, and that means it is time to freshen up your home from the ground up with Carpet City Flooring Center. Whether you are hosting some backyard get-togethers, opening the doors to family and friends, or you're just ready for a seasonal refresh, new flooring can completely transform your space. From soft, comfortable carpet to durable luxury vinyl planks, Carpet City Flooring Center has everything you need to bring your vision to life. And it's not just about the looks. It's about quality that you could count on and an expert guidance every single step of the way. Their team is ready to help you find the perfect fit for your style, your needs, and your budget. So before summer officially kicks off, make sure that your home is ready to shine. Stop on into Carpet City Flooring Center today and take the first step towards a space that you will love all season long. Ben with the Grind My Gears. What grinds my gears is people still not given appreciation for Pat Murphy. I don't know, Ben, who is doing that, but if they are and they're still out there, shame on them. Shame on them. But, yeah, I think right now, okay, how many try to take away, and I know I was going to throw this out there, but I don't think you can. Because I honestly feel like when it comes to Pat Murphy, maybe it depends on the team that you have put together. Because I was going to say, how many managers would you take ahead of Pat Murphy in Major League Baseball right now? And I don't think that's a fair question necessarily to ask, because there is a big unknown with this. Could Pat Murphy's style work with a Yankees, a Dodgers, those type of teams? I don't know. I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm not saying it would. I don't know. I just know that right now, it works with a younger team mixed in with some veterans. It's, the Brewers aren't just like this team full of 20, 21, 22-year-olds. They got a Yelly. They got Contreras, right, who's been in the league here for a little bit. Gary Sanchez, they've got some veteran dudes on here. But for the most part, it's a lot of the younger players. And I think with the personality, too, even of a Yelich, it fits. Yelich is their team leader. He has won an MVP in that, but he's not, I wouldn't classify him as this me type of player or spotlight, you know what I mean? So I don't think I could ask that question. How many more managers would you take, or how many managers would you take ahead of Pat Murphy? I think this is the team that is built around his style. And I think it would be curious at some point. I don't want Pat Murphy to go anywhere at any time soon. And obviously with his age and such, I don't know, if this would be his only shot in that. But it would be kind of curious to see if that style would work with, say, like a Mets team that might be in change or might be looking for a new manager, or a Dodgers or a Yankees. Maybe that's kind of the question. Do you think? Maybe we kind of inadvertently fell into that question. What? We don't know the truth answer. All right, so let me just throw it out to you, armchair MVPs out there, my fellow armchair MVPs. If we put, and we don't want to happen, but if you put Pat Murphy as the manager of the Dodgers, as the manager of the Yankees, Phillies, whatever, okay, one of those teams, are they, now I know the Phillies are struggling here a little bit, but, kind of look at the last couple of years. Are they as successful or not? What do you think? It's tough. It's tough because I think Pat Murphy gets respect from younger players, veteran players. You know, you heard Freddie Freeman, was it last year or the year before, kind of talk about it because Freddie Freeman was dealing with some family stuff with his younger kids, and he made a special shout out to Pat Murphy. Like Pat Murphy, I think just has, and you hear some of the former players, veterans who are now retired, and they just speak. So I think the veterans definitely would kind of, respect the heck out of him. But, Pat Murphy's got a little tough love to him too. Would some of those established veteran players, we've seen it before in other sports, other leagues, other teams, would they kind of buy into that, or does that wear thin for some of those guys? Something to ponder. Something to really ponder. But, Murphy is going to be the first person to tell you, too, it's not all him. He's going to give credit to the players, and he's going to give credit to his assistants and his staff. And you look at the staff, I mean, what Chris Hook means to this team. If Pat Murphy is the most important person to the overall success of this team, first of all, would you buy that? Do you think Pat Murphy is the most important Brewers person to the overall success of this team? Is Chris Hook second? Is he second on that list? Just look at these younger pitchers and look at how they are developing these guys, utilizing these guys, putting them in a position to be successful. And this is without Brandon Woodruff now for a hot minute. Quinn Priester last year, look what he did. He has not pitched at all this year, and they can afford to be patient with him. Mizorowski has taken a step. Kyle Harrison looks legit. Logan Henderson, Brandon Sportchanger, whether they're starters or bullpen guys, the impact that the Brewers pitching coaching staff have had on these players is insanely remarkable. You're talking about a Brewers team that is fourth best in team ERA, 3.28. Actually, strike that, third best, 3.28. The two teams above them, Braves and Dodgers. Braves are at a 3.14. Dodgers at a 3.17. A Brewers pitching staff that gives up the fewest amount of home runs, 35 right now. Fourth most strikeouts. Fourth best opponent's batting average. The numbers speak for themselves. Shutouts, tied for second. Actually, no. Let me want a picture. Actually, they're towards the bottom. I forgot to toggle that. Ignore that one. They're towards the bottom there. Boston's actually gotten 6 shutouts. When a pitcher throws a complete game shutout and allows no runs, that makes sense there with Brewers and stuff. Complete games, by the way. Without looking it up, how many? I'm going to throw this out as a trivia question. I want some feedback. I want to hear from you guys and gals. How do I want to phrase this? Multiple teams are in the lead for complete games. What's that number? What do you think the number is for complete games so far this season? What's the leader? You don't have to give me a team name, but what's that number? Just curious to see if anybody knows it without looking it up. Hit me up with either a text or comment on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line if you'd like. See if you know it. But Chris Hook again and Jim Henderson. if I'm a team that has struggled with pitching and maybe developing some pitchers, why would I not? And maybe Chris Hook doesn't want to go anywhere. Doesn't, this is the role he wants, and he's complete. And that is perfectly fine. And I think any Brewers fan would love that to happen. But if I'm a team, I'm at least trying to say, okay, we got to talk. I don't know if it's manager. Can they throw out a bunch of money at him to try to get him over there? What he's got, going back to the Timber Rattlers. So he's got deep roots. Roots run deep with Chris Hook and the Brewers organization. But what Chris Hook has meant to the overall structure of this team has been incredible, invaluable. He is such a key figure to this team. Kyle, you got it right. One complete game. A few teams are on that list, but there is just that's the most so far. Arizona, the Athletics, the Marlins, the Twins, the Phillies, and the Mariners. What's a common thing on there? There is only one team that has a winning record. Okay. Well, no, one team with a winning record. There's one team who's at 500. Philadelphia, 25-23, and they have turned their season around since Don Mattingly has became the interim manager. But the Phillies are the only team with a winning record that have thrown a complete game shutout. I think that just happened with Sanchez, wasn't it? I'll have to double check that. But yeah, Diamondbacks are 500. Athletics now are 23-24. Miami 22-26. Minnesota 22-26. Seattle 23-26. Let me go back to, let's just say 96. 19 complete games was the season lead, tied with the Texas Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays. Brewers on that list had 6. I don't think there's going to be anybody that on the Brewers that might get that this year. But it's kind of fun to just see the trend. How it's just gone down and down and down over the years. Steve says, I absolutely do not think Murphy's style will work on a team like the Dodgers. You don't get to be such a successful college coach without being able to connect with young guys and to call them out when it's needed. And I think he's much better fit for teams like the Brewers that are primarily made up of younger players whose egos haven't gotten the better of them. Put them on a team of ego-driven superstars like the Dodgers and the Yankees, and I think it would be a disaster. Plus, I don't think Murphy would ever be interested in that either. And I think, we can't forget, though, too, with Murphy, I know everybody looks back at the college days, but remember, he's been at the major league level for a long time now. Even, obviously with Pat or with Craig Counsell's bench coach, but interim manager for the Padres for a hot minute. So, he's been at the major league level for, since 2010. You're talking 16 years. He was hired in 2010 as a special assistant to baseball operations. He skippered the Padres Northwest League affiliate. Murphy managed the Tucson Padres of the AAA Pacific Coast League in 2013. And in 2015, he was appointed interim manager of the Padres after Bud Black was fired. And then hired as bench coach for Craig Counsell. So, he's been with the majors. Last time he was in college, managing the team was 2009. And I get it, AAA, those guys, those are the younger college kids too. I completely understand that. But I think, it's not like he just made the straight jump, kind of like, Tony did with the Giants right now. Tim in the Cooley region, Murphy could be successful anywhere if the players check their egos at the door. No egos on the Brewers. I think that's probably the best way to say it. Ego's the big thing. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll wrap up the second hour. Halftime's almost here. We'll be right back after these few words. Whether you are chasing a championship or you're just trying to stay active, your body deserves the best care. And at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, they help athletes and non-athletes alike get back to doing what they love. From sports injuries and joint pain to everyday aches, their expert team is here with personalized care every step of the way. So no matter your level of activity, you don't have to sit on the sidelines. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better, to feel better, and to live better. We only got a few minutes left to the top of the hour, but let's kind of reset here and give you a few minutes to chime in with some of the questions that I've been throwing out there. One, Jake Bowers. Do you keep the man in the starting lineup and put him in left field because of what he has been able to do on an offensive standpoint, which means you're probably benching Garrett Mitchell at this point because Jackson would play center. You try to find ways to keep Bowers in this lineup right now. Strike while the iron is hot. Kind of just another, do you think, another question we just kind of popped up naturally. Is Chris Hook maybe the second most valuable, if we take away players? No, let's keep players. Let's keep players. Let's keep it fun. Is Chris Hook, would you say, second most valuable member of this Brewers team, maybe behind Pat Murphy? If you have Pat Murphy 1, maybe you don't. And if you don't, tell me who you got. Would you put Chris Hook at number 2? Because of how he has worked his magic with so many different pitchers on this team. Bullpen guys, starters, younger guys, veterans. Would you put Chris Hook at number 2? Or maybe you got him at number 1. Where you got him? Give me that list, okay? Send me your Toys and Four to grind my gears Tuesday, your sports confessions, your I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. So that could be a good one there with Chris Hook. I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. All right? Those lines are open. Remember, I want to hand out some swag today. So it's going to be based off of participation points. Okay? Participation points. We've got some teas. I got a Griffey Jr. card on there. Let's hear it, baby. All right. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to catch up with RJ Cardinal, get the latest and greatest down in Madison surrounding the Badgers. Last week, the news dropped of the committee to get this new AD at Wisconsin. We'll see what RJ's hearing. What's the scuttlebug down in Madison? So we'll hit that up. Plenty more baseball talk as we get set for Game 2. Game 2 of this Brewers-Cubs series. The Miz Kid, Jacob Mizrowski, getting the start for the Brewers tonight. So we'll preview that game with the chance for the Brewers to secure a series win if they get the W tonight. But one game at a time, right? One game at a time. Brewers currently half game behind the Cubs for first place in the division. Remember who's waiting right after this, too? Dodgers. So it's been a big stretch here for the Brewers, going back to, Yankees, even the Cardinals and the Padres, and now the Cubs. Brewers are playing some good baseball against some very high-quality opponents. You can't argue against that.